The night had that hollow stillness that only comes after midnight, when even the wind seems to hesitate before moving. Monica Hayes drove alone through the long stretch of empty highway, the hum of her engine blending with the quiet rhythm of tires against asphalt. She should have been tired after the 12-hour briefing at the Logistics Command 2 hours south, but her mind refused to rest. There was always one more contingency to plan, one more chain of responsibility looping through her thoughts. Command never really left her. It lingered even in the quiet spaces between tasks. Still, she let herself breathe, shoulders easing slightly as the road carried her closer to home. She didn't notice the patrol car at first. The cruiser had been parked in darkness along the roadside, engine idling, its presence blending into the shadows. Inside sat Travis Cole, watching the empty road with the restless impatience of a man who had grown used to action and resented its absence. The shift had been slow, too slow, and boredom had settled into him like an itch he couldn't scratch. When Monica's black SUV passed under the streetlight, its tinted windows and unfamiliar plates caught his attention instantly. Unknown vehicle. Late hour. Out-of-town tags. Something about it felt like a break in the monotony. He pulled out before thinking too hard about why. Flashing lights burst into the darkness behind Monica, bright and sudden. Her eyes flicked to the mirror, pulse lifting only slightly. She eased off the accelerator, signaled, and guided the SUV to the shoulder with calm precision. Her training had carved that composure into muscle memory long ago. Steady hands, deliberate movement, no sudden gestures. The world could tilt toward danger in seconds. Control began with stillness. The cruiser door slammed. Heavy footsteps approached. Monica saw him in the side mirror, tall, broad-shouldered, posture already charged with authority. His hand rested near his holster, flashlight beam cutting through her window before he even spoke. License and registration. No greeting. No explanation. Just command. Monica rolled the window halfway down, keeping her hands visible on the wheel. "Officer, may I ask why I'm being stopped?" The flashlight beam lifted to her face, blinding for a moment. Travis squinted as if studying an object rather than a person. "You were drifting between lanes. Didn't signal. Possible impairment." Her eyebrow lifted slightly. "I wasn't." "License and registration," he repeated, louder. She didn't argue. She moved slowly, deliberately, opening the glove compartment and retrieving the documents. As she handed them over, she added, evenly, "This is a government vehicle. I'm a federal employee." He glanced at the ID, the words, the seal. "Military." "Yes." He smirked faintly. "Doesn't mean you're above the law." "I never said I was." Something in her tone, calm but unyielding, scraped against his nerves. He took a step closer, voice tightening. "Step out of the vehicle." Monica blinked once. "Excuse me." "I said step out. I'm conducting a sobriety check." Her jaw set, but her voice stayed measured. "On what grounds?" "I've complied. I haven't been drinking. I'd like to understand the reason." "You're refusing a lawful order now." "No," she said quietly. "I'm asking for clarification." He didn't like that. He reached for the handle and pulled the door open himself. "Out. Now." That was when Monica turned on her phone camera. Her thumb pressed record without flourish. "For clarity," she said, holding it steady. "This interaction is being documented." For the first time, Travis hesitated. Only a fraction of a second, but enough for doubt to flicker across his mind. Then his pride shoved it aside. Out of the car, she stepped onto the pavement, posture straight, hands relaxed at her sides. She wasn't defiant. She didn't raise her voice. Yet something about her stillness unsettled him, as if he'd expected resistance and instead found something harder to push against. He put her through the field test beneath the harsh wash of streetlight. Heel to toe, turn, count. She performed each movement with flawless balance, expression neutral. No stumble, no slur, no hesitation. Still, he wrote the citation. Failure to maintain lane. She accepted the paper without comment, only meeting his gaze for a moment that carried neither anger nor fear, only a quiet, enduring assessment. Then she returned to the SUV and drove into the dark. Travis watched the taillights vanish, irritation lingering like a bad taste. Just another stop, he told himself. Another driver who didn't like being challenged. He didn't know that the moment had already begun to unravel him. Back at the precinct, the night resumed its routine. Travis logged the citation, filed the brief report, and docked his body cam with mechanical indifference. The footage joined thousands of hours of routine stops, most never reviewed, most never questioned. He joked about it in the break room later, tossing the story out between bites of chips. Some woman tried pulling rank on me, he said. Flashed government ID like that was supposed to scare me. The response rippled faster than she expected. By the time Travis received the envelope from Lucas County Civil Court, the case had already moved beyond internal review. He tore it open in the parking lot, expecting routine paperwork, violation of constitutional rights during a traffic stop, unlawful detainment, intimidation, abuse of authority. Plaintiff, Lieutenant Colonel Monica Hayes. He laughed out loud. No way. But inside the station, Captain Howard Blake's office door closed behind him with a finality that stripped the humor away. Dan, Blake said, old habit slipping through. We need to talk. She's playing victim, Travis said. Because I didn't salute her. Blake's eyes hardened. She's not playing anything. She has you on video. 2 angles. And she has federal backing. So what? I followed procedure. You escalated, Blake said quietly. You treated her like a suspect from the first second. Travis opened his mouth, then shut it. For once, there was no easy retort. You're going to court, Blake continued. And this will get out. The words settled heavy in his chest. Weeks later, the courtroom filled with a quiet gravity that no one could ignore. Officers in uniform sat beside civilians. Military personnel from Fort Wayne arrived in silent solidarity. Travis sat at the defense table, suit stiff against his shoulders, Attorney Martin Keller murmuring strategy beside him. Then Monica entered. She wore full-service dress, ribbons catching light, rank gleaming at her collar. She walked with the same composed authority she carried in command zones. The room shifted around her presence. Travis felt something unfamiliar tighten in his throat. When she took the stand, the air itself seemed to lean closer. She spoke without anger, recounting the stop with precise clarity. The words were measured, but beneath them lay the steady pulse of lived experience, the knowledge of how power could tilt toward harm when unchecked. I complied with every instruction, she said. I requested clarification. I documented the interaction because I perceived escalation without cause. My concern was not inconvenience. It was safety. Martin Keller cross-examined, pressing, probing. Sergeant Cole never touched you. Never arrested you. You were free to leave. Where's the harm? Monica met his gaze. Harm is not only physical. Authority carries psychological weight. When exercised without justification, it creates fear, intimidation, and mistrust. I have spent my career ensuring those under my command feel protected by authority, not threatened by it. That night, I experienced the opposite. Travis shifted in his chair, the memory replaying with new edges. The flashlight, his tone, her stillness. He had believed himself unquestionable. Now each detail returned stripped of certainty. For the first time in 15 years, doubt took root. The judge's ruling came weeks later. The stop lacked sufficient probable cause. The escalation was unjustified. The conduct constituted abuse of authority. The citation was dismissed. The civil rights complaint upheld. Disciplinary review mandated. The words landed like blows. Travis sat motionless as the verdict echoed through the chamber. Across the aisle, Monica remained composed, but her shoulders lowered a fraction, as if some long-held tension had finally eased. Afterward, the hallway filled with murmurs and footsteps. Travis lingered, uncertain, until he found himself facing her. I thought I was doing my job, he said. She studied him. Your job is to protect, not to dominate. Authority isn't armor against accountability. He nodded once. Outside, light spread across the courthouse steps. For the first time, he understood. Power is not something you hold. It is something you are trusted with.